Well, good morning, guys. Happy Monday to you all. It is 6:15 in the morning, and right now, what we're looking at are the 5-minute interval charts on the bottom and the 1-minute interval charts in the middle. So, what we're going to do right now is do a little pre market analysis, just a general forecast of where we think the stock may go today. And again, today we're watching Tesla. So, what I'm going to do this time is go from chart to chart and explain to you each analysis that I'm going to be performing. So this is the 15-minute and 15-day interval chart. What I have set up on it, these blue and purple lines that you see, are the 20-day exponential moving day average and the 42-day exponential moving average. And if you don't really know what those are, you can just go ahead and look those up right now. I'm going to make a video on those in the future, but for now, that's just the current setup I'm using. So what I'm going to do with this chart is just go ahead and draw some trend lines so I can kind of get an idea of the strength of the chart patterns that Tesla is following. So what I'm going to do is just connect the lows that I see, the strong lows. Look at, there's a low point right here, and there's a low point right over here, isn't there? So I'm just going to connect it, kind of extend it over. Keep in mind, this is the day we're in right over here. The day's just about to begin. The gray segments indicate that the market was closed. That's overnight and pre-market. So I've drawn this bottom line. Now let's connect the highs. Right around here. The angle is very important. It's important to try to connect them as accurate as you can. That way you can more accurately predict where the stock is going to move. See, just from looking at this, I can see that if Tesla continues to follow this pattern, then it's probably going to rise all the way up to here. And if it doesn't rise up to here, then where's the lowest that it might fall? Well, the lowest is right here. And it could probably get even lower than that. Let's see if it follows an even further back pattern. Look, there's some highs right over here. Let's connect this pattern. Just connect the dots really, guys. Right over there. And all I'm going to do is extend this line to the right. That way I have some more view. Now look, that added a line above the line we just drew. So if Tesla got to this high that we drew originally, well, if it breaks that, look at the next point it may get to, right around here, right? If it continues following this 5-day pattern. That's pretty fair. Let's see if we can find any more on this. So you see, I wouldn't be connecting these right here, and the reason why is because you see how there was a trend reversal? First of all, this is only a 3-day pattern, 1, 2, 3, and then it reversed for 3 days. Therefore, I don't consider it such a strong pattern, especially if it's not continuing to follow. The reason why I drew it right here is even though it only has 2 connection points, is because I can see that over here today it's approaching a high. So as it's approaching a high, I want to see where is it going to have some resistance around? Where is it going to start pulling back around? And so these lines will indicate where that's probably going to be in the day. And even if it blows past that, that's fine. As long as it got to that point and we got in and out of a trade and made some money. That's all that matters. We don't have to be greedy with it and hold it for a longer amount of time. It's perfect. So let's go to the next chart over here. This is going to be, I'm just going to skip this 1-minute chart because I just use this during the day for momentum trading. This is the 180-day chart, 1 hour candlesticks. And so as you can see, there's an even further back pattern. This pattern is pretty strong. This pattern is around 10 to 15 days. See, we could connect these points too. You see that? Just try to connect them as best as you can. Okay, see, that's not going to connect very well with this one right up here. So what I'm going to have to do is just connect where I see the most connections. That's the strongest trend. Extend those to the right. And you see, I can see the tops right over here. And this gives us an even different picture. This tells us that if Tesla continues to follow this pattern, then the highest we might see it go within the next either day or two is up to $360 and around 86 cents. That's pretty awesome. I wouldn't really connect these up here simply because, again, I see this trend reversal. So yeah, it was following this pattern, but look, it just took a hard reversal, so I'm not really down for that one. Okay, and finally what we're just going to do real quick is take a look at the moving averages just to forecast the basically like the feel of the mood of the day, I like to call it, just the general direction that I think the stock may going in. And the way I do that is looking at the 15-minute interval chart, and I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. And I'm looking at the moving averages here, and what I can see, well, what you should know is that every time a moving average crosses, for example, you see how the moving average crossed right around here? Well, look how it indicated an up movement. And watch this. You see how the next time it crossed? Look how it indicated a down movement. Okay, crosses are always going to alternate, okay? One movement up, one movement down. It crosses once, it's going up. It crosses again, it's going down. It crosses again, it's going up. Crosses again, it's going down. It alternates just like that. So you have to identify which cross was the up and which cross was the most recent down. So as you can see right here, this was the most recent cross down. And as you can see, it just crossed up. So that's telling me the general mood for Tesla today might be up. And if I combine this reading with my reading over here on my 180-day chart, it's telling me that, yeah, we're going up today probably. And if we continue to go up, what's the highest we might go to? $360 probably. And also, if we look at the 180-day chart, and by the way, on this chart, I just have the 8-day exponential and the 20-day simple moving average set up on it. But as you can tell, even on this chart, you see how the other day on Friday morning, it crossed down. Well, look, we're in a period of being crossed up right now. And it's very significant that I mention that the candlesticks are holding above the moving averages on both charts. For example, on the 15-minute interval chart right over here, you'll see these candlesticks, they're holding above these two lines. That's what I like to see. The minute they start getting into it, I start feeling hairy about it, you know? They can go ahead and drop to the uppermost one, but at that point, that's it, you know? That's called a pullback right there. But the minute it starts going in between it, it starts getting hairy for me. And the second I see it close below the averages, for example, you see how these candlesticks are closing below these two lines? The minute I see one of those happen, I'm definitely out of there, because that's indicating that the trend is going to start moving a different direction. See how they're holding above these two lines right now? Well, it's indicating we have a pretty strong movement upcoming. And, you know, they can always reverse during the day, so we always keep an eye on it. And I'm not going to go ahead and read the 5 minutes and the 1 minute interval charts with the moving averages, simply because there's not a lot of volume going on right now. I like to gauge out the market, and that's why we're not going to be in live trading at 6:30. We're going to begin at 6:45, just because I want to get a more accurate feel for the momentum of the market. So we're going to go ahead and resume at 6:45. So tune back in, guys. I hope this helped you, and yeah, see you guys. Alright then guys, so we're back, and as you can see Tesla's ripping already, so we're gonna buy some call options. So we just bought 3 call options. And Tesla's ripping. We're at 130 profit right now. 134, 132. And it hit this trend line right up here, so I'm gonna take that $90 profit really quick. Just because I'm unsure if it's gonna rip past this trend line, so I'm just making sure I locked in some profit this morning, just just to make sure. We just locked in profit in about what, 10-15 seconds. So we'll go ahead and wait, see how it's gonna react. There's some pullback already. Just making sure. Oh, that should be 3. Remember guys, over here on this chart earlier, we drew these trend lines and we predicted that it might go all the way up to 360 today. So if it starts breaking the trend line I have over here on the 15-minute time chart, then I might decide to buy some more calls and go back in. It's moving a little slow right now, so we'll check it out. Remember, we want to make sure all our signs are reading right before we jump in, So look right here on this 1-minute chart. They're holding well above the moving averages. These 2 lines, the candlesticks are holding well above them. They're not crossing into them. Right here, I probably wouldn't have held. It's a good thing that we sold pretty quick. Over here on the 15-minute, it's holding pretty well above still. And let's see, let me show you my right-hand side of the screen. And you can see on the 5-minute bar charts, they're about to start holding above. And if it does hold above in this next 5-minute interval, then I'm going to go ahead and buy some more calls. We'll go ahead and check it out. And back to the left-hand side. You can see it's breaking well past the trend lines we drew earlier. It's ripping, yeah, you see. It's probably going to have some pullback now just because it's at that trend line. If not, I'd still like it to hold above the moving averages over here on my right hand side. You see these last 2 charts on the top and the bottom. Well, I want this candlestick to close this interval, and it has, let's see, 6:42. It has only 4 more minutes to, or actually, I think we just might buy right now. Yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and buy some right now. And the reason I went ahead and did that is because I'm looking at the volume, and it's looking pretty fair for right about now. You see how a lot of people bought in at this price? Well, there's some silent buying going on right now. A lot of people are buying in silently. They're not giving away their position, and right now we're at $144 profit. We're gonna take $150 profit. So right now, as you can see guys, on the day we're already up $171. Let's go ahead and keep analyzing and seeing if we can get back into any other positions. Remember, we never force any trades. We let them come to us. No amount of praying, no amount of hope will make a stock move for you. Believe me, I tried. So now what I'm going to do over here is go ahead and look at some put options for just in case it starts falling. I want to have some put option chains ready. Okay. And I'm not sure if I was showing you guys the right side of the screen when I made that trade earlier, because I just acted a little too fast. But if you can see right over here, we're at $171 profit on the day. The two trades we made earlier. And let's see, back to the option window. So I'm gonna look for one around my price range. Let's go ahead and look at this one for 251. So yeah, okay. Let's look at this one over here for 240. Go ahead and paste it into our active trader. And we'll have that ready to go. We'll buy 3 of them when it comes time. And we'll go ahead and switch back over here. Okay. Well, it has about 10 more seconds to hold above on the right hand side where the 5-minute charts are. Watch this. Okay, you see how it just finished the time interval? It just started a new candlestick. The time interval just finished for this candlestick. It just started a new candlestick, and both of them held above the moving averages. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get back into this trade on the left hand side of the screen. I think. Remember, it's at 356 right now. We predicted it all to go all the way up to 360 this morning, or right around or right below. So it might start having some pullback right now. It's looking a little hairy, but it's holding well above those trend lines, and that's a pretty strong indicator on the 5-minute charts. I'd like to buy it for a little cheaper. I think it might start having some pullback, and will it? Yeah, there it goes. I'd like it to fall down a little bit more so I could buy it for cheaper. And if you could see over here on the right hand side of my screen, I can tell where it might pull back to. If I look over here to the moving averages, they kind of tell me where it's going to pull back to. Look, it's telling me if it falls, it might fall to this blue line right here, and if not, it'll fall to probably the Mo. That would suck if it did that, but it might fall all the way down here, which I kind of doubt right now because they're holding pretty well above the averages. So there it goes. It's starting to dip, and hopefully it only goes to this first one. Want to buy it for a little cheaper, guys. Remember, if unless it starts ripping. If it starts ripping, then I might just jump back in. Now, I'm not going to buy a put option here. I know it's probably going to fall a little, but the reason I'm not going to buy a put option is because it's holding so well above those averages I showed you on the right hand side. Those candlesticks are, both those indicators are holding well above the average, and it's too risky. I just don't think it's going to fall that hard right now. I think it still has room to rise. If it falls, it's just going to be a dip at this point. Can always change though. Always. You never want to be too sure of yourself. Realizing your mistakes and getting out of a trade is honestly the best way to save your ass, because once you see, let's say you want a stock to go up, and you buy a call and you're hoping it goes up, and then it starts going down, and you're like, oh well, maybe in 10 minutes it's gonna go back up, and then it doesn't, and it just drops harder, and then 20 minutes later it drops even harder, and you're like, well, maybe it'll go up tomorrow, but instead it drops even harder, and you've lost all your money. Well, that's what we're trying to prevent right here. So as soon as we realize we're wrong, we just back out of a trade at minimum loss. 15, 30, $45 loss, you know? That's what we're trying to get away with. Because every time we win, guys, we're trying to see above $80. Our goal a day is only $100, guys. You shouldn't set your goal so high, especially if your account isn't so high. And everyone in my neighborhood is starting their car and going off to work, and we're right here eating some tricks and trading some options. And right now, guys, we're just looking for the position to get into. It's flatlining right now, so could just be some consolidation of volume. There's a spike right there. Let's see if that was it. Oh, you see this doji candle over here on the let me show you. On the right hand side of the screen, doji candles are these little you see this little red candlestick? You see how it was just this line and then this little box in the middle of it compared to all the other ones that are all boxed out? Well, that's called a doji candle, and that indicates price indecision. You see how there was a doji candle right here and it indicated up movement? Well, there's a doji candle up here and it may indicate down movement. If not, it's up movement, but it's definitely an indicator of something. So we have to keep an eye on what it is now. But it's a very good hint, that doji candle. Sorry for that. What's going on, Roger? Chilling. I hope I'm making it like kind of understandable. I'm trying to like explain it a little slower and not use so much like technical terms. Just kind of keeping it to the basics. And these indicators that I'm using, they all come with the platform. This is nothing you have to download or buy separately. These lines that I'm using and these lines that I've been drawing, they all come with the whatever platform you're going to be using, whatever charting platform you're going to be using. And we're watching for movement still. Let's see, On the right hand side, they're still holding above the averages. The averages again being these two lines. Every time I'm saying the averages or the moving averages, I'm talking about those two lines on any chart. So the candlesticks, they're closing their time interval above the moving averages, which is a good sign. It means it still has room to rip. Very good sign. And remember, on the left hand side, earlier this morning we drew these trend lines right over here, and we can see that the highest it may go today is 360. It's only at 356 right now, so there's still $4 for it to move. That's incredible. Remember, we're buying 3 options at a time at around $50 in profit for every dollar that Tesla increases. That's some fast profit. Okay, this may be the rip. If not, it's a dip. 356, it's hitting highs. All right, we're going back in for right now. $16 profit, or yeah, $20. Oh, it's looking hairy. Okay, $37, $38. I hope I'm on the right screen. Yes, I am. Okay. We gotta watch it very carefully. That doji candle's kind of giving me the heebie-jeebies over there. Especially because it's moving so slow, but it just made a new high. But it closed at 356.8, and even numbers are pretty much high of the day numbers. They like to close on even numbers. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here. $32 profit. I was feeling uncomfortable there, so we'll just take that $32 and oh well, it's ripping. Well, sometimes it happens that way, guys. Sometimes you sometimes you sell too early, and we may decide to get back in though. It has $3 to move. Do we really think it's gonna hit 360 today? Maybe, but it might have some pullback first. Look at all these even numbers it's hitting at for a high. 357.30. If it was at 357.32, then I'm like, okay, it's definitely going to keep going. It's probably going to go to 357.35 because it likes to close on even numbers. And see, it closed on an even number right now, so this may indicate some down movement, but I'm telling you, all the other bar charts are indicating that it's still holding above for now. I'm looking on the right-hand side, and if it starts crossing into the moving averages down here, I'll show you. Okay, you see this candlestick? If it starts getting into here, that's some pretty good indication that it's going to start falling. Right now it's just moving slow, but if it starts closing below that, those two moving averages, then it's definitely a position to buy down for, to buy a put. But it's good we got out of that trade because I wasn't sure. And look, it didn't really rip as much as I was thinking. It didn't get to 360 right now. So at least we still made $33 profit. We broke more than even. So that's fine. We'll hold that for now. I'll go ahead and go back in for some calls. Okay, I took another $35 profit, just because I saw another even number, 358. It closed at 358, with no sense, so it had some pretty strong resistance. So I think it may start dipping a little bit. It may not, you know, fall like, oh my God, it might actually, because if I look over here, it has room to fall all the way down to this trend line that we drew earlier. It has room to dip all the way down there, and that's, shit, yeah. That's almost $4. So we got to keep an eye on that. But that's fine too, because we can buy a put option and make money if it goes down. So let's get a put option ready to buy. And we're at $201 profit today so far, guys, if you look right over here. And ideally, you know, we want to be done by like, I don't know, 7:30, 7:45. You don't want to make this a job, guys. Freedom. I used to stare at the screen for 8 hours. Yeah, 8 hours a day trading. Yeah, when I started. I made some terrible moves back then. I lost a lot, but I learned a lot. And I tend to get very hyper focused on a subject, which in this subject, I guess it's really beneficial. I spent a lot of time in studying on graphs and momentum, and now I feel like I can get an overall gauge of the market 10 minutes before it starts. When before I used to analyze the day that's going to happen for like an hour before the market opens, or an hour and a half. Used to get up at 3 in the morning, you know. But those days are over. And I don't feel like putting myself through that anymore. And it looks like it may start dipping right about now, so we're gonna go ahead and okay, guys, you see right now what I'm about to do is draw something called Fibonacci retracement levels. Fibonacci retracement levels work with the numbers in the Fibonacci sequence. That's the way they're spaced out, at least. And the way you can get them on your graph is by drawing them from the highs and the lows of the day. So you see how today it just hit a high at 358. Well, let's draw one point there at the top, and we'll draw another point here at the bottom. And I'll get this out of the way. So it looks kind of funny, but what these lines indicate are support and resistant levels. Support and resistant levels are levels that it may retrace to. It most likely will retrace to because of the fact that it's been there before. History tends to repeat itself, and especially in stock charts. These things are run by computer algorithms, and they work off human psychology pretty much. All these chart patterns, people like you and me are watching these chart patterns right now, and they're identifying them just the same as you and me are. And as soon as they identify them, they make a move. It's called the self-fulfilling prophecy, pretty much. And basically, they make those chart patterns happen. It's really wild, and the computer has no choice but to make the same move it's been making over and over, because the computer doesn't want to make money. Remember, you're playing a game against the computer. You're playing a really good game of chess against the computer. Have you ever won a computer at a game of chess? I doubt it. So this is what we're up against, guys. Okay, so right now we're just waiting simply because there's not enough movement for me to determine if there's going to be a strong drop or a strong rise. But if we look right here in the 1 minute interval chart, and keep in mind we're using a 1 day, 1 minute interval chart with these two moving averages being the 8-day exponential moving average and the 20-day simple moving average. Okay, and as you can see, the red candlesticks are beginning to cross into it, indicating a dip. Now look at this cross right over here. You see how when the moving averages crossed, it indicated an up movement? Didn't I tell you earlier that every other cross, it's alternating? One cross up, one cross down, one cross up, one cross down. Well, here's our cross up right here. What do you think is about to happen right now? A cross down. And the way we can make sure that's true is by making sure that it begins to hold below these candlesticks. You see how the whole time it was going up over here, it was holding above the moving averages, indicating that it was going up? Well, now we want to see it, all the candlesticks hold below, indicating that it's going to keep moving below. So let me show you the right-hand side of the screen. And we're still at $201 profit, guys, on the day. So even if we wanted to call it a day right now, we could go fishing and shit. Look over here on the right-hand side, and you can see, all right, right-hand side, and you can see the 5-minute bar charts. They're still holding above, but they're having some price indecision. You see how these candlesticks are getting kind of narrow and hairy? That's indicative of price indecision pretty much. And when it starts dipping into here, just like the moving averages on the left-hand side of the screen, when it starts dipping into here, then I'm probably gonna start thinking about buying a put option. Again, if you don't know what a put option is or a call option, I have a video on that, so it's pretty simple to understand and follow, so check that out. But a put option basically means that I want the stock to go down. A call option means I want the stock to go up. Earlier we were buying call options and we made our money that way. We may make our money buying a put option right now if Tesla keeps going down. So we're keeping an eye on that, making sure that it doesn't just bounce, because remember, we drew those trend lines earlier, guys. We drew those trend lines on this chart, this third chart right over here. We drew that in the morning before the market even opened. And I don't think you guys can see that. Hold on. You see how we drew this earlier in the morning? Look, we predicted that Tesla would rise all the way up to $360. Tesla began the day over here at around 351, I believe it was. And we drew the bottom ones just in case it fell. And here's the top ones that we drew. So look, Tesla's ripping right now, and it may rip to 360, but you know what? I'm not going to jump back in and buy a call option. And the reason why I'm not going to jump back in and buy a call option is because it's too close to $360. Remember how I said it might go a little above or it might go a little below? Well, guys, we don't know yet. So what if it just goes a little below and this 359.27 is a little below, you know? And then it just starts dipping and we have a call option hoping it still goes up. That's not good. So let's wait till it gets to 360, or let's wait till it stabilizes really. It may start ripping again and may blow past 360, you know? Tesla has good news today. Watch this. That's another thing I forgot to mention to you guys. Always be checking the news, guys, for whatever stock you're trading that day. The news will influence how the stock will move a lot. And look at Tesla today, guys. Tesla announced at 6:32 in the morning. That's 9:32 New York time. Tesla announced superchargers, stations, and city centers will be installed in supermarkets, shopping centers, downtown districts. That's huge. That's pretty huge. That's pretty huge news. And not only is it huge news, guys, but we drew those trend lines earlier. We kind of knew that Tesla might blow today or tomorrow. We kind of knew that already, guys. So it's all there for us. All the information's there for us, you know? This is not, you know, rocket science. It's all there for us and shit, and all we got to do is look for it. And it's holding at 3. Okay, it's dipping. Okay, and as you can see on the 1-minute interval chart right down here, you know, I'm gonna make it so my cursors don't appear on all the graphs because that might be confusing, you guys. do it? I really forgot how I did this. It's been a while since I messed with all the little settings and shit. Show, no. I should say. Whatever. I'll look for it next time. Where were we? Okay, yeah, so it's beginning to cross over here. The minute it starts these candlesticks, the minute it starts holding below the moving averages, when it starts closing below, then I'll buy a put option, and when Tesla goes down, we'll start making money. So we're at $201 profit still on the day. It's 7:10 in the morning. The market's been open for now 40 minutes. We'd ideally like to, get out of here in the next 15-20 minutes if we can make some more money. Okay, ready? Here comes that put option. We got to be ready for it. Oh, look at that, guys. See, good thing we didn't buy the put option yet. Let's wait for it a little longer. So you always want to be sure that it's closing below those averages. When it closes below the averages, it has no choice but to make that move. It has no choice but to make that either up or down move, at least for a little bit. It may change directions in the next 1 or 2 minutes, but at least you got in at that point because you knew that there was some movement that was about to happen. That's the point. That's the point. The point is you knew that there was going to be a major move in an up or down movement. Remember, guys, we're not fucking buying stocks here and hoping that it only goes up. We're buying options, and we can make money if the stock goes up or if the stock goes down. So it's really good. Okay, look at that. It's beginning to cross. These guys are pushing it down. A lot of people are selling right about now. I know I'd be selling. Yeah, I'd definitely be selling if I had a call, or if I even had stock in it. I'd be scared shitless. Like I said, guys, it didn't hit 360, but we damn well predicted it would get near it. Like I said, a little below, a little above, a little below. This may just be a little dip, but we're gonna go ahead and I wanted to hold below first on this time interval. This is a 1 minute time interval, so as long as it continues to hold below for the next 40 seconds until 7:14, then I'll go ahead and buy a put. because it's going to indicate down movement. For how long, we don't know. We'll have to see. And for how far it'll drop, we don't know. We'll have to see. We can gauge it really quick, but we have to keep an eye on this, make sure it closes below. And we'll go ahead and take a few right now, just before the minute closes. Okay. And there she goes. Oh, it's actually holding that support level, guys. I want it to break that support level. I'd really like it to break that support level. If we look over here on the 15-day moving average, we can see that if it does pull back, it may pull back to around 351, 352, 351 and 95 cents. So I think we may get stopped out of this, guys. We'll go ahead and take a $23 loss on it. No problem. See, guys, we're taking little losses like this, $23, $30, but when we win, we have to make sure our profits are much bigger, $80, $100, so on. That's how you lock in profit. Looking for that major sell-off, guys. So we're at 357. So if it crosses above right here and it starts holding above, we may go back in for a call, because that's $3 for it to move to all the way up to 360. So that's pretty good. Just bought 3 more puts. It's closing below the averages. I want to try to scalp this one right here. And click on it to make sure I can do that. Okay, just take a $13 profit on it. Screw it. We want more momentum, guys. This isn't enough momentum. That's why I keep getting out of the trade, because it's looking way too hairy. See how it keeps crossing into these moving averages? We're going to wait a little longer. A few more minutes. Okay, it looks like it's starting to gain momentum. Volume's picking up, definitely. Okay, it's holding above. We'll go ahead and buy some right here. Keep a close eye on it though. If it starts moving into the averages again, we'll watch out for it. So we're keeping a close eye on it. Making sure it's still continuing to hold above the averages. On the right hand side of the screen it is, I'll show you guys. It's looking like a good pullback spot though. Cool. Cool, it is looking like a pullback finally. Is that finally what we wanted? Can it be? Will Tesla finally fall? There we go. Switch positions. Buy a little cheaper. I might buy some more too. Remember, you can buy some and add to your order along the way. We bought 3, but we might buy 1 more if it continues adding in our direction. A little bit more. We don't need those level 2s anymore. It's just flatlining right now, guys. And come on, are you gonna blow or what are you gonna do? And there's the movement. Cool. 13, 4. We have 6 of them so far. 6 options. And we're gonna go ahead and take a $62 profit really quick. And let's see if we're gonna go back in. Oh shit, I'm showing the wrong side. These are the wrong level 2s down here. You guys didn't tell me anything. I'm kidding. Buy a little bit more. Okay, we'll go ahead and take that $86 profit really quick. Should we get back in? Or is it Harry? And we're only going to execute one more trade, guys. Let's see what direction it will be in. It'll most likely be up, to be honest. Thanks. Yeah, getting dry over here. All right. We just want to do one more trade, guys. One more trade. It'll most likely be in the up direction. It's holding above the averages quite well, and the high of the day was 359.27. That is a pretty good high of the day number, so we have to keep an eye on it. Alright, just a few more, and then we'll be out of here. Alright guys, that's it. So we're going to go ahead and end the day $54 short. It's fine though. It's just something we're going to have to make up tomorrow. I mean, we've had 2 days in a row live $300 days. So we had 2 days for $600. It makes sense that we would have a little loss, a $54 loss. And I'm going to go ahead and call it a day because I'm not going to push my luck and lose some more today. And that's just what you have to teach yourself as a trader, guys. It's self-discipline. As you guys saw, Thursday and Friday, we gained almost $300 each day, and I only had an $80 goal. So that's what you want to aim for, you know. Smaller goals, and when you win big, you know, you want to make sure you lock it in. And the losses are very important. You can't let the losses get you down. You're gonna lose. You're always gonna lose. There's no trader that is 100% accurate, and that's the thing. Okay, only 10% of traders are gonna succeed in this game. Okay, this is a game, and only 10% of people that try it are gonna make money off of it. The other 90% are gonna put money into it for a few months, and they're gonna realize how bad they are, and they're gonna fail at it, and they're gonna stop it. And that's what separates the winners from the losers. That's what separates the 10% from the 90%. If you want to be really good at this, it's not hard. You just have to put time into it, a little bit of time into it. That's it. But look, guys, we made $300 2 days in a row last week, Thursday and Friday, my first 2 days of streaming. Today, I'm calling it a day with a $54 loss. That's a pretty good profit to loss ratio. That's what I mean when I say risk-reward ratio. Your losses need to be smaller than your wins. you need to have much larger gains. That's how you keep consistent profits. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and call it a day, and we'll be back on tomorrow. And tomorrow we're definitely gonna have to end on a green note. Today was a little iffy. You know, I'll tell you what my mistakes were. I think I can identify my mistakes right about now, and that's good. We should do that. I think my mistake was after realizing after gaining all that profit right there in the beginning, and looking for more trades later on in the day. I should have, which I did, but I wasn't talking about it. Check it out. I saw that Tesla, they've made this move before. And didn't I say earlier that history, it always tends to repeat itself? Well, Tesla has made this exact same move before, and I didn't realize it until it was already all the way up here and it was kind of too late. But I'll show you what I mean by that too. Okay. You see how today, the gray section, guys, for whoever wasn't listening earlier, the gray section means that the market was closed. So we're in the black section right now, so the market is open until 1 o'clock California time. And the gray section is closed time. So look at how in the morning, guys, when it was still closed, you see how it shot up like this? And then after that, as soon as the market opened, it jolted up. It's done that move in history, and not too long ago either. Okay. Look right around here. You see how right here in the pre-market, it started spiking up a little bit, and then it just shot to it just pretty much jumped almost $6, you know, within the first 15, 30 minutes. That's pretty incredible. But look at the consolidation. The consolidation means the flatlining. Like, look at how much it got flat afterwards, you know? I should have realized that. I should have realized that it's probably not going to make another huge movement after a huge movement. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's made this move in history before, guys. Look, right over here on the right-hand side. It's made this exact same movement. So it's going to go up, and then it's just going to consolidate. It's just going to flatline like this for a bit, you know? And I should have seen that coming. I should have known that it wasn't going to have any more major movements, and we just got into too many trades today. I usually like to keep it, you know, anywhere from 3 to 5 trades, and I think we did. I think we ended on the 5th trade or so, so that's good. But we ended negative. We ended $54 negative, and that's fine. We'll make it up tomorrow, and we ended today on a red note, and we're going to end tomorrow on a green note. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Go ahead and tune in at 6:15 if you're in California. And that's when the pre-analysis of the market is going to start. And I'll go ahead and start live trading at 6:45. All right, guys. Thanks.